Hello everyone, I am Renowned Zero, and we're back again talking about more Rippaverse detractors, as always, and some usually have stuff to say about me. In the past, we've had Nerdette's Newsstand, who tried her very best to monetize me, didn't really work out too well for her. She actually lost subscribers, while I gained subscribers, because I'm genuine and she's not. We've got, of course, the Drunken Peasants, who had something to say about me, which I don't really do the back and forth thing. I'm not that type of channel, I just report on this type of stuff and other things like pop culture and gaming news, which I've got another video coming out later talking about a new acquisition that Kick has gotten from Twitch. So we'll go through some things here on this account, the Rippaverse Goalpost Twitter account. Shout out to them, always providing the salt for the channel. Go check them out on YouTube, go check them out on Twitter if you don't already follow them on those platforms. But before we get into it, we'll just give an update on the Rippaverse ISOM number 2 pre-order campaign, currently sitting at $1.439 million with 11,939 total purchasers, selling out 8,333 cover A's, 8,906 cover B's, and 3,065 cover C's as of recording of this video. So certain people have certain things to say about me, kind of like this guy here. This Joshua Frazier guy is one of my most recent videos of Eric, one of Eric July's biggest detractors over there in the fandom initiative, who always has something weird to say like protect trans kids and they don't exist. And that's just a reminder of who this person is for all the people who are new here, and even my concurrent reviewers and subscribers who have been here for quite a while. They know who this guy is. But it's really funny how people like to comment and say dumb things like this. It's funny how most of your views come from videos like this. Honest question, are you autistic and live online? See, people like me have real jobs. Well, I wouldn't say real jobs. I would say full-time jobs. This for me is just a hobby. As of right now, I would like to actually make it as a another form of income, second form of income that I can bring in addition to my regular job. But I'll be transparent and show you that my top 3 videos are actually from 2008 when I was uploading Smash Brothers content from a camera phone that I used to do. And if we scroll down, you'll see that my highest video when it comes to detractors of Eric July is this one when ISOM 2 was announced. You know, the pre-order campaign was put up for pre-order when the number 2 was put up for pre-order. ISOM 2 was put up for pre-order. It's not even in my top 10 videos. It's not even in my top 5, it's not in my top 10. So if we go through it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's my 13th highest video. And for people who don't do YouTube like this guy clearly doesn't, if my fans, if my viewers ask me to cover stuff like this, or at the very least enjoying me covering stuff like this, I'm going to continue to cover it, because obviously you're on YouTube to get the views, you're on YouTube to listen to what your viewers like and do what they like, make videos on things that they like watching. So for someone like that to tell me why is most of my views come from this? Well, a lot of my views come from stuff like this because my subscriber base likes to watch this type of content. So I'm going to continue to make this type of content. But anyway, we're going to go back over to the Rippaverse Goalpost account, where actual fandom sits here and complains about being blocked by Bounding the Comics. Remember, this is the same guy who, if you go over it, we'll do it live. We'll go right over to Dane's Twitter account, and we'll show you exactly the type of cowardice that he does, right? If you go to any post that he has, oh, this one he didn't block for once. For once in his life, he actually didn't block. Oh, here. So it says right here, who can reply? People who follow him or are mentioned in the reply. So this is a typical tactic that he does. He likes to talk a bunch of noise. And if you see this right here, if you see it's grayed out, that means it's blocked from replies. So if I click this right now, same thing. Who can reply? People who follow him or mention him can reply. So you should be the last one talking about more freedom of speech or anything like that, considering this is what your typical tactic is. You typically block replies on, I would say, 99% of your tweets. So before you go saying this nonsense, you might want to check yourself. Anyway, we got one of the Dick Masterson fans here as well, saying he wished he could read ISOM without buying it. It's gotten to a point where I have to see for myself how bad it is or isn't. Again, it's all opinion based. You could like it, someone else can hate it. You can hate it, someone else can like it. It's like these people expect their word to be gospel, their word to be the final word on anything and everything. They just can't get over the fact that people actually like the comic book like I do. Like, I have a review on my YouTube channel. There was actually a guy recently who decided to say something like this. If I can find it. Well, we can't find it. But it said something, I'm going to paraphrase, like, "Oh, do you even like this book? Did you even read this book?" And I replied to him like, "Yes, I have a review on my channel. Thanks for playing." So these people act like people like me haven't read the book or reviewed the book. They just think it's an illusion that people like the book. We also have people who got triggered over Gary from Neurotic saying that Eric July was the king of comics. This guy says, "Jack Kirby created half the Marvel Universe, but that's nothing compared to Chex Notes, 2 issues of double Chex Notes, 1 comic book." You're so triggered by the fact that Gary says this. It's actually quite fascinating. So, yes, currently Eric July is the king of independent comics. He has the most successful independent campaign that wasn't on Indiegogo, that wasn't on Kickstarter, it was on his own website, built with his own money that he accrued from being on YouTube and other revenue streams. Vickyverse. Maybe he could send him a style sheet so that Avery says ISOM doesn't look like a whole different man in each commission piece. I doubt Cho would want to use a cover for reference like Davis has to. Okay. Nobody should really be taking any advice from a broke, bald-headed wench like you. I'm sorry. We also have memes. Apparently this was the little comic that Chris Chan made. And they took Eric's head and put ISOM here and here and here. And a bunch of stupid text like the left can't meme. I don't hate on Eric. Yes, you do. I call out lies, misinformation, and bullshit when I see it, and it just so happens that he dishes out a lot of that. I'm not denying the success of his book, but when he starts saying he's doing better than mainstream, that's not true. Oh yeah, he definitely doesn't pull up numbers that shows that he sold 60,000 copies of a graphic novel that is considered by Comicron, and it hasn't sold better than pretty much every other graphic novel in the last couple of years. He definitely didn't show any of that information. I've even shown that information on one of my previous videos. More people are upset about Nerdrotic. We'll get into this in a second. Porn stars haven't sucked people off as hard as you are, Eric July. King of comics, better than Stan Lee, less than 20,000 sales, more than the top-selling comic of all time. X-Men issue number 1 sold 8.2 million. This ain't math class. We using golf scores. 20K greater than 8.2 million. Again, triggered by the fact that these are the same type of people that will get triggered by the fact that Gary will say something like Miles Morales is Miles Morales, a factual statement. Oh, good, you finally gave in and just tried to deep throat him. Knew you two being so hardcore phobic was just hiding this for this wonderful reveal. You two deserve each other. Yeah, the two guys that are married, more than likely you're not married with your anime avatar over here. I'm pretty sure Gary has multiple children and a wife he's been married to for quite a long time. And Eric is also married, so if you guys want to instill your little gay fantasies into other people, that's fine. But we don't need to know. You don't need your projection over here. I get comments like this all the time on my videos when it comes to defending Eric or defending Yellow Flash or defending Gary or defending, those anybody in that space, anybody in that content creator space that I actually like watching. I get comments like this all the time. And it just makes me wonder, like, what goes through your head when you write these comments? We'll get into this later. I need to finish the rest of these. Here's Joe saying, someone let the Rippaverse cap at Stan Lee's star. The mofo would hate you all. I doubt it. What's Rippaverse? It's a comic run by Eric July, a phobic, far-right bigot. Oh, goddamn, that's awful. It's like, did you even research the person he's talking about? You just you just go by the word this person says rather than doing research. That's like me. That's like me listening to people talk crap about Jeremy with his The Last Jedi opinion, and me going, "Oh, I hate that guy because he doesn't like this movie, or he loves this movie, or whatever they were saying about Jeremy." And I went to go look him up, and I was like, Jeremy's actually correct in his assumption of The Last Jedi. It's a shitty movie. I'm gonna click subscribe, and that's how that story happened. Another big detractor. Words ain't enough anymore. Ripper cultists need a butt whooping. To another detractor, Josh Friedman. Stan Lee was fine with Miles and Kamala. This is just insulting. Where? I don't think he knew about Miles Morales. And even if he did, he created Spider-Man, who is Peter Parker. Got more people. That hat needs to be burned and send a message to the Ripper bad people. I would take that hat and burn it if it was in L.A. If I was in L.A., take the hat and burn it. People are so salty over a picture of a Ripperverse hat on Stan Lee's Walk of Fame star. Here's another example of bad visual storytelling. Why does it take 6 panels to show someone grabbing ISOM shirt? There's one shirt. I don't know, different angles? You ever heard of different angles, bud? I've seen panels like this in normal Marvel comics. This is pretty common, actually. You can tell these people don't read comics. Oh, yeah, this is also one of those guys that got destroyed in a live debate on Eric's channel. Once again, talking his noise. Correction, Eric July is the king of comics with no story developments, no character motivations, and bad grammar. King of crappy comics. Yeah, this is coming from someone you can tell they didn't read the comic. It definitely had story development. It definitely had character motivations. His motivation was to go find a family friend for his mother. Bad grammar. Yeah, okay, bud. It's funny how they get salty over these little tweets that Neurotic pearls out. They say to ignore the people that they don't want to watch. And they say not to hate watch things, but then they hate watch creators that they don't like. It's hypocritical at best. But now we'll go ahead and get into this right here. If I can find it now. This right here. Which I was informed that I was talked about on their 5-hour live stream. And this is where it started. I think it actually started a little bit later. So it starts about here. Right? Because I talk about these weird dudes. These two dudes here, and I call them fat, and I tell them how much they're fixated on a cross above a fictional character's penis. And they get really mad about that for some odd reason. They get very mad about it that they spent about 40 minutes of this live stream talking about my video. And then, of course, they decide to expose themselves for who they are, about what they think about Christians, of course. That's exactly what they decide to do in this clip. So thank you, Ripperverse Goalpost, for pulling this clip that we're going to listen to and make fun of.
Be stupid. Whether or not they're trying to better themselves, they shouldn't be allowed an opinion on the creation of art, especially if they're the type of people that will spend money to support something void of art.
Yeah,
totally void of art. Not made and not, drawn and inked and colored by some major veterans in the comic industry. But because it's Eric July that has the comic, right? It's Eric July that's writing the comic. It's devoid of art, and no one should be able to criticize or critique or talk about it or have any opinion on it. Well, we're letting you have your opinions on it, right? No one's silencing you and making sure you can't have an opinion on it. But at the same time, most likely you didn't read it. You didn't read the Ripperverse book. More than likely, you didn't read ISOM 1. It's just crazy to me.
Problem isn't with them trying to better themselves. It's them defending this piece of shit comic book.
So again, that's your opinion. That's an opinion, bud. Do you not know what an opinion is? Do I have to help you with the definition of an opinion? Opinions are not true. Opinions are something you can have about something, whether it be a movie, a video game, a TV show. You're allowed to express your thoughts about something and not be necessarily true.
You guys are smooth brain. You really don't understand actual fucking depth of storytelling. You just want to support somebody who says, the woke is bad. Okay, cool. I'm going to send all my money to you.
No, they want to defend somebody and give money to someone who doesn't, for the most part, disrespect them as a fan, and then gives them good product at the same time. It's like, we're going to give you a good product, and we're not going to disrespect you in any way. We're not going to tell you you're a terrible person for supporting it. And then we're going to take the money and reinvest it back into the business and give you more good product. More of what you want. It's called listening to your customer, listening to your fan, listening to your reader, which is something the mainstream comic industry does not do, which is what Eric July is providing. And simple basic concepts like this are lost on fucking brainlets like you.
Because you dislike Black Little Mermaid too. Let's go.
Yes, I dislike my characters being tokenized. Plain and simple. And right now, Little Mermaid is looking to be a flop. I can't tell you that for sure. I'm not a box office number expert. But based on numbers, based on production budget, based on marketing numbers, it's looking to be a flop. Because people are sick and tired of the same old song and dance of race swap this and race swap that. And if you don't like it, you're an ist, you're a phobe, you're this, you're that. People are tired of it.
Do something better. What, you can't do something better?
Well, they're clearly doing something better since they're making more money than Marvel graphic novels. They're making characters that don't have to be rebooted 6, 7, 8, 9 times like Captain Marvel or Kamala Khan. Stretchy McGee.
In for $45, might as well send another $40.
Or discount Mr. Fantastic.
$45 for issue 2. Maybe
The comic book is $35. I'm sorry that you're a brokey. Why do you sound like that? Why do you sound like that? And besides that, it's not $45. It's $35.
it'll get better.
Nope.
What? I'm $4,000 into this ISOM fucking Indiegogo? And
Again, it's not an Indiegogo. It's a personal pre-order. The books are already done. Typically, people who use Indiegogo or Kickstarter are typically getting their stuff funded. Whereas Eric July already has the product. So it's a pre-order campaign for people who are interested in purchasing a product that's already finished. Not for stuff that's a work in progress.
the story's still not better? Well, at least they're not going to race swap ISOM.
Eric.
At least they're not going to preach down to me like current Marvel and DC.
And this is the thing. We're not commenting on his dick. We're commenting on the fact that he took a fucking...
Do we have to pull up the video where you're literally commenting on the fact that there's a cross above his dick? You mentioned his dick specifically with the cross over it.
Christian symbol and plastered it right above the superhero's dick to pander to the Christians that don't question when writing is poor. Based on the success of the Bible, we know they don't question poor writing.
That was a terrible thing. So now you're saying Christians are stupid. So you're basically saying all Christians are dumb. That's exactly what you're saying here. Which is the problem that people have with mainstream comics. You continuously tell your audience that they're dumb.
So if I use the term Band-Aid to explain that somebody had to bandage their fucking cut,
No, he didn't use Band-Aid brand.
it's to speak to the greater fucking audience and not the ball-washing fan that wants to hold everybody accountable for not knowing 100% every detail of Eric July's crusty fucking beard.
It was
So again, talking a bunch of noise, saying a bunch of dribble, not knowing what you're talking about. So what are you getting at here? I don't hear anything of substance for me to actually give a shit about.
For all of the Eric July fans that were mad that we said it was a horrible story, now that we realize it
A horrible story that they never read.
doesn't matter that
Oh, and again, it's an opinion. You're allowed to have the opinion and say it's a horrible story.
it's a horrible story, and you were only supporting for the ideology, I apologize.
Nobody supports it for the ideology because it was never advertised as a political comic book or an anti-woke comic book. It was marketed as a fun and entertaining return to form of superhero comics. But again, it's always lost on room temperature IQ brainlets like this guy. It's because there's so much fat on your body that it's consuming your mental ability to understand why the product is doing so well.
Thank you.
You guys keep pumping Eric July's crayon fund so he can use his crayons to draw cool superheroes.
Crayons. Sound it out, buddy. Crayons.
Stories about himself
Crayons.
punching fucking club promoters.
And
Get it.
Yeah, he's attributing it to Dick Masterson when Flash said it, and Flash is too much of a coward to speak up and correct Eric July because he's part of the fucking ball washer clique. Welcome to your fucking Alpha Force, the Beta Force ball washer clique.
your beta was full bus, you click. It's like, bruh, do y'all just have this like fascination with balls and dicks or something? Because it's okay if you're gay. I mean, we'll accept you regardless. But it's very interesting how everything comes back to balls and dicks for you. It's very weird that you want to instill your gay fantasies on other people and can't just simply accept that people like a comic book made by an independent creator that you don't like because they have different politics than you. It's okay for you to have your own opinion and your own politics, but what you're essentially doing is you're talking shit about the people that like it because you don't like Eric July. And again, you have an opinion on a book that you've never read, probably will never read, and just because Dick Masterson came out the woodwork and got called out by multiple people, and he apologized to Eric July and is still to this day talking shit about Eric July's comic, even after apologizing in a live stream, just shows how much you and every other detractor lives absolutely rent-free. How Eric July lives rent-free in all of your heads. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit that like button, comment below what you feel about all this, subscribe for more content, and hit the bell for notifications. Click on the bell and set it to all, that way you get notifications anytime I post a new video. And I will see you all on the next one. Peace.